few years ago, I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and we were just checking in as we often do, talking about kind of everything and nothing in particular. And I kind of made an offhanded comment that I would like to fly airplanes. And I hadn't mentioned this in the past. I thought it'd be cool to become a pilot and be able to fly the family and all that. And my wife said, "You should do it. You should just look up the place and give them a call." And there's a flight school near our house. And so right then and there, while we were sitting on the couch, I did. I got my phone out, Googled the flight school, called them, and set up an appointment to do an introductory flight, which I didn't necessarily know what to expect with that, but it was complimentary. They just said, "Come out, we'll take you up, and you could see if it's something you want to do," which I did. So that following week, I went and gotten a plane that looked like it was 50 years old with an instructor, and he started giving me instructions. I was thinking that I was just going to be a passenger for this flight, but he started giving me instructions like, "Hey, this is what you do this, do that." And before I know it, we're making a call to air traffic control, and he's saying, "All right, say this." And I fumbled it, and he corrected it, and then we taxi out to the runway, and I keep expecting him to take over, and he just keeps giving me instructions, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." And mind you, I'd never been in a small plane before, so this was definitely a new experience for me. And sure enough, we get clearance to take off. We pull out on the runway, and he tells me, "All right, slowly push the throttle all the way forward." And I did. And a few seconds later, the plane starts to leave the ground, and I'm excited and a little nervous, but I was hooked. I was hooked immediately. I'm Luke. Welcome to another episode of the Vision to Victory podcast, where we discuss becoming the most authentic you so you can live with purpose, passion, and joy. We've been in this series called Take Back Your Life. And this week we're talking about relentless pursuit. If I were to sit down with you, we were to sit across from each other, and I were to ask you, what are some of your hopes, dreams, desires? Like, what do you want out of life? If you took the time to think about it, and we took the time to have a real conversation, you could probably come up with some things that were inspiring, maybe would elicit some emotion in you. What keeps you from pursuing those things? Or maybe it's better put this way: what is the difference between pursuing or not pursuing a dream? And what is the difference between seeing it through or not seeing it through? I think that it falls into either one of two categories. The first, ambiguity, which is what I want to talk about today. And the second is insecurity, which, if insecurity is holding you back, so fear, self-doubt, then go back to last week and listen to letting go of what's holding you back. But today I want to talk about ambiguity, and specifically these four things. Number one, lack of clarity. Number two, lack of understanding. Number three, lack of focus. And number four, lack of commitment. So again, what is the difference between pursuing something or not? First, lack of clarity. It's so important that we clearly define what it is that we want to do. This is honestly where many of us just get stuck, is we have an abstract idea of what we want for our life. Like, I'd like to have more money. More money is not a goal. That's not a defined, dream or destination. That's just an abstract thought. That's like saying I want to win the lottery. Everybody wants to win the lottery. A goal is, I'd like to increase my income by $100,000 a year in the next 3 years. Okay, that's a very clearly defined goal. And then the next part is an understanding. Once we clearly define the goal, then you can work backwards. I've talked a lot about this. Once we have the goal, we gain an understanding of the steps between here and there. Like, what do I need to do to get to that very specific goal? And, using that example could be a number of things. Maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe you need to start a side business, whatever it is. Once you have a clearly defined goal, you get clarity, and then you can gain an understanding of what you actually need to do. And then you get focus. If you have a lack of focus, then you won't get great results. So I shared this quote a few weeks ago: diluted focus equals diluted results. And so when I talk about focus, we need to dedicate time, energy, and money to what we want to accomplish. Wherever our focus goes, that is where we will see the results. And so if you have something that you want to pursue, whether that's a dream or a goal, it will require something from you. And I think one of the biggest lies or maybe challenges that we run into in our culture today, this big emphasis on balance in life. While it's important to have balance in certain areas, and I'm very big on prioritizing well, right? We want to keep the right priorities in the right place. But if you want to make meaningful progress or do anything that is extraordinary, it will take extraordinary focus. This is 100% true. I had a moment that truly helped me in my own thought process when it came to pursuing things. I was at a leadership event, and the speaker said, "Today, I want to give you the permission to obsess." And that sounded like a bad word to me or something, but as he unpacked it, he was so right. Everything that I've done in my own life that has, kind of been above and beyond the norm, whether that was learning how to fly airplanes or starting a company or whatever it was, it required a lot of focus. And so if you want to do something in your life, it will require your focus. And finally, it will require your commitment. It will require your commitment. This starts with a decision, right? Just the decision to, I'm going to do this. And when you decide, you need to commit. So I ran into many obstacles when I was trying to get my pilot's license. I was very busy at the time. I had a full-time job. I was getting my company off the ground. I was going back to school to get my master's degree. And so I was very busy. I have a family as well. And so there was always obstacles in the way of me getting my pilot's license. But I knew it was something I wanted to do, and I was committed to it. And so I just didn't stop, right? I made the decision, and then whatever needed to be done, however I needed to arrange things so that I could just keep going and get it done. Even if it took me a little longer than I would like, I was going to do it. I was committed. So again, I want to just ask the question, what's the difference between pursuing and not? Pursuing your dreams, your desires, your goals, and not pursuing them. I would say it's these four things. It's lack of clarity. You're not clear on what you want. Lack of understanding. You're not clear on how to get there. You're not sure of what to do to get to where you want to go. Number three, it might be lack of commitment. You haven't decided, you haven't made the conscious choice to say, this is what I'm going to do, and then commit your time and your focus and your energy towards it. And then finally, you need to focus. So we've got clarity, understanding, focus, and commitment. This is what it takes to realize dreams and desires in your life. This is what it takes to see them come to fruition. So my question for you today is, what is one thing that you want to pursue, and what is one step that you can take today? I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, share it with somebody, like, subscribe. Have a great day.